So we have the function g of x here, and first we're asked to find the wholes of g of x. So we're going to take the function g of x, and we're going to notice that we can cancel out a few things in g of x. Here we notice that we have two x minus 4's on top and one x minus 4 on the bottom. So an x minus 4 can be canceled out. So that leaves us with a whole at x equals 4. And then we also have an x plus 5 on top and an x plus 5 on the bottom. So we can cancel them out. And that leaves us with a whole at x equals negative 5. So now when we simplify, we have g of x over here equals negative 5 times x minus 4, because we still have 1 left over, all over x minus 1. Now, to find the y-coordinate of each of these wholes, we're going to plug in the x-coordinate into g of x. So y for x equals 4 is going to equal g of 4, which equals 0. The same thing for negative 5, which will be negative 5 times negative 5 minus 4 over negative 5 minus 1, which is negative 15 over 2. So the coordinates of our wholes for g of x are 4, 0, and negative 5, negative 15 over 2. Now we're going to keep using this function we found here to find the vertical asymptotes of g of x. So to find a vertical asymptote, you just want to figure out when the bottom of the fraction is equal to 0. So all we have to do is set x minus 1 equal to 0. We add a 1 to both sides, x equals 1. So at x equals 1, g of x has a vertical asymptote. Finally, we're asked to find the horizontal asymptotes of g of x. Recently, you've been taking limits at infinity and negative infinity, and those help you figure out where the asymptotes horizontally of your function are at. First off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify g of x even further. So I'm going to get negative 5x minus 20 over x minus 1. Now both these x's are to the power of 1, and you've been taught to divide by the highest power. So we're going to do that. 1 over x1 and 1 over x1. So now you're going to be left with a function that looks like negative 5 minus 20 over x over 1 minus 1 over x. Now let's take this and analyze it at negative infinity and positive infinity. Limit as x approaches positive infinity for negative 5 minus 20 over x over 1 minus 1 over x. Well, when you have infinity on the bottom of the 20 and the bottom of the 1, these terms are going to cancel out to 0. So you're going to be left with negative 5 over 1, which equals negative 5. Let's do the same thing for limit as x goes to negative infinity. You'll have negative 5 minus 20 over x, 1 minus 1 over x. Well, as we go to negative infinity, these terms are also going to cancel out to 0. So you're going to be left with negative 5 over 1, which equals negative 5. So y equals negative 5 is the horizontal asymptote of g of x.